Right, Mr. Nathan, stay on with us. There's some more news coming in on the same. According to reports, Kremlin has urged not to take into account Merz's opinion on a possible venue for negotiations between Russia and Ukraine. The Kremlin has said that the German Chancellor has made many unfavorable statements about President Putin in recent hours. The Kremlin has also addressed comments from US President Donald Trump, who alleged a conspiracy between Russia, China and North Korea. Reports said that Kremlin stated that Russia's interactions with China and North Korea is for the benefit of their respective countries and not directed against anyone. The Kremlin further insisted that no one is plotting anything. Mr. Latham, once again, from your perspective, where exactly are we headed as far as these latest developments are concerned? Because more commentary is coming in from the United States of America in light of the recent military day parades that were hosted by China, which saw North Korea's leader as well as Vladimir Putin in attendance.
Yes, that's the first time those three leaders have been in the same place at the same time ever. That really is a kind of breakthrough. China's military parade commemorating what it perceives as its victory over Japan in the Second World War, minimizing the role of the United States and Britain and the Commonwealth, etc. India as well, by the way. Also an opportunity to parade the latest and greatest military kit, everything from unmanned combat vehicles to intercontinental ballistic missiles. It's quite an impressive display of Chinese military might, and also quite an interesting display of their attempt to partially rewrite the history of the Second World War. And we've seen that on the Russian side in the past few years as well. They beat the Germans, not the Western allies. I think, though, that if we look at this Russian outreach to North Korea, it too smacks of desperation. North Korea is a pariah state. It is the ultimate pariah state. It is totally isolated internationally, with the exception of, big exceptions, Russia and China. But for Russia to double down on its relationship suggests to me that there's nowhere else to go. Looking for expendable manpower, looking for replacement kit, looking for ammunition. North Korea is a good place to go. But in terms of redoubling its diplomatic clout on the world stage, North Korea has nothing to offer whatsoever. So again, both Zelensky, I think, and Putin, to some extent, are acting out of desperation because the war, ironically and weirdly, is not going well for either of them. I think on balance, going better for Russia, but not going well enough for Russia.
Okay, interesting. But at the same time, Ms. Latham, I do want to understand from your perspective, as far as this latest development regarding Germany is also concerned, do you think some of the commentary that's coming out of Europe will make it difficult for Donald Trump to continue his talks with Russia?
I think there's a divide between the political elite in Western Europe, the Merzes and Starmers and Macrons of this world, and your average person in the street, as it were. I don't think that they see eye to eye. Merz in particular now has become galvanized. With respect to the American angle, I think the Trump administration would love it if the Europeans actually stepped up. That would allow the United States to step down its commitment and to continue its pivot to the Indo-Pacific, because it sees China as a bigger challenge, if not a bigger threat, than it sees Russia. So to the extent that the European leaders and President Zelensky are able to galvanize more grassroots support, which then will free them up to invest in military equipment and ammunition and in tightening up the sanctions, which will hurt, by the way, Western Europe in terms of the price of gas, for example. I think Donald Trump will be pleased by that. Whether those European leaders and President Zelensky can pull this off is another question, but I think Donald Trump's sense of American interests are clear. The less the United States has to do with this war in Europe, the more the Europeans can deal with it, the more it frees up America to pursue other elements of its grand strategy.
Absolutely. Mr. Latham, stay on with us. More news coming in on that front. In a